Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Today's Friday, August 19th, and we are continuing our coverage of coaches' ATS tendencies in college football right now with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. Steve's record at his website is great long-term. You definitely check him out at collegefootballwinning.com. Steve, thanks for being back with us. Right now, we're going to take a look at Les Miles from LSU. He's been the coach there for a while, right? I believe since about 2005. And when I think of LSU, I do have some pretty strong associations. In general, I think of them as a team that has obviously NFL talent all over the field, but tends to underachieve a little bit. And I particularly look to think about fading them when they're a big favorite at home. I don't know about on the road, but definitely when they're a big home favorite, I'm usually thinking about looking to fade them before anything else. What can you tell us, Steve, about Les Miles at LSU?
I like that introduction, Peter. So this video comes from information that can be found in the Betting Black Book, which is at Amazon.com. Peter Loshak very graciously wrote the foreword to this book. And in this book, you will find betting data, a betting history of all 128 active FBS head college football coaches. Les Miles, as a head coach, he's been at LSU, as you said, since 2005. Since I was collating information from the last 10 seasons, we have just 2006 through the 2015 season. So last 10 years for Les Miles at LSU. Against the spread overall, he's 63, 66, and 2 against the spread. So it's 48.84%. This is a good time to remind viewers that the break-even point in standard college football betting in terms of profitability is 52.38%. So when you hear something less than that figure, like his overall winning percentage, 48.84%, that is underperforming or that is not profitable. You're losing money that way. He ranks 74th overall among all college football head coaches against the spread. At home, 37, 38, and 1 against the spread. Away, nothing too significant, 21, 23, and 1 against the spread. That's 47.73%. Narrow point spreads. So in this category, I did not differentiate between underdogs and favorites, and I'll tell you why. A narrow point spread to me, and in the book, is something that closes at less than a field goal. And I didn't differentiate between the underdogs and the favorites here because 25.37% of the time, the last 10 years, that one team opened as an underdog or a favorite of less than 3 points, they switched places from favorite to underdog, underdog to favorite. So more than a quarter of the time. So to call one of them a favorite or an underdog, I thought was a bit misleading. So just in those narrow point spread games, he's 5-6 against the spread. So really close to meeting expectations there. As a favorite overall, you're not going to see a real advantage here either. 50, 48, and 1 against the spread. But here is where you want to look for them. Here's sort of a sweet spot. When Les Miles is a favorite of at least a touchdown with LSU, favorite of at least a touchdown, but favorite of at least a field goal, but less than a touchdown. So 3 to 6.5 points. He's 14-6 against the spread. So those are those short favorites, 3 to 6.5 points. As an underdog, and again, an underdog of at least 3 points, he's just 9-12 against the spread. So not a great position for him to be in as an underdog. But again, sweet spot for him as an underdog is when he is a very small underdog from 3 to 6.5 points. Field goal to under a touchdown. He's 8-5 against the spread. So as you were sort of suggesting from the top of the video, Peter, when he's an underdog of at least a touchdown, he is 1-7 against the spread. So if you can find LSU in that rare spot where they're underdogs of at least a touchdown, 1-7 against the spread, definitely underperforming there. In conference, in the SEC, bad news here. 36, 45, and 2 against the spread. That's winning at a rate of just 44.44%. That's 9th best in the SEC. So you could see why last season some people were clamoring for his replacement, just because, according to public expectations, in the SEC, he seems to be underperforming. Out of conference, though, 27-21. That's winning at a rate of 56.25%. He's 38th best among all coaches in out-of-conference games. Total preparation. So when a coach and his team had at least 10 days to prepare for a team. So that would include the first game of the season, bye weeks, after bye weeks, before bowl games, before college football playoff games, at least 10 days of preparation time. He is 19-14. That's winning at a rate of 57.58%. He ranks 38th overall in that category. So first game of the season is coming up. He is 6-4 against the spread, so no real edge to be found there. I do like to talk about the preseason hype as it relates to the preseason AP poll and how that affects betting lines and against the spread outcomes. So for Les Miles and LSU, when the preseason AP poll is released, and it'll be released in 2 days on August 21st, LSU very well could be a top 5 team. The past 4 seasons, all preseason AP top 5s have averaged beating the spread at just 46.27%. So that is definitely not profitable. But LSU is a weird case. The last 10 seasons at LSU, Les Miles there, preseason AP, when they've been in the preseason AP top 5, LSU has beaten the spread at an average rate of 52.5%, so narrowly beating expectations. When they're not in the preseason top 5, and this is why LSU is weird, they average beating the spread at just 43.75%. So this is one of those very unusual cases where you shouldn't fear LSU being in the top 5. If anything, and if history is any indicator of future results, you should fear them not being in the top 5 in terms of against the spread results. So in sum, for Les Miles at LSU the last 10 years, does well as a small favorite, winning at the rate of 70%. Out of conference, he does well, 56.25%. He's a good preparation coach. Where he underperforms, unfortunately, they're just awful as underdogs of at least a touchdown. As we said, 1-7 against the spread. He's bad in SEC conference play against the spread. In any game where the point spread is at least 7 points, so where they're favorites or underdogs, we already talked about the underdog thing, but favorites too. If you put them together, any game, favorites or underdogs, at least a touchdown, they are 37-53-1. That's winning at a rate of just 41.11% against the spread.
All right, Steve. That's what Steve does. He does it at collegefootballwinning.com. Give a plug for your website, Steve.
Thank you, Peter. At collegefootballwinning.com, all we do is college football betting analysis all year round, even in the off season. We're a company founded on making betting recommendations using sets of algorithms. And we call those algorithmic betting recommendations our formula. Our formula, the lifetime of the company, has given out 495 betting recommendations, and we're beating the spread at a rate of 59.89% with those formula betting recommendations. We always offer a 100% money-back guarantee on the entire season with us. So come to collegefootballwinning.com, put in coupon code SBR10, that's SBR10, and we'll give you 10% off of any membership that we're currently offering.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Peter.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.